What is going on, guys? Eroze the Gamer coming at you once again. Hi, so great to see you. Today I'm doing something a little bit different because today is not about a video game that I am playing or anything new that I'm finding interesting. This is actually complete hype. You are seeing a video based on hype, and my hype is for, well, obviously, that's why you've clicked on the video, Evil Dead the game, because this game looks so amazing. Oh my god. I cannot express my excitement to you because this game looks absolutely phenomenal. We've only gotten 2 trailers so far, and I know I'm kind of late on the Evil Dead thing, but in 10 days, it's coming out in 10 days, and I am so excited. It's incredible. Wow, just wow. So I didn't want to make a video on this from before because I figured it was going to be full of a lot of bias and a lot of hype because of my love for the Evil Dead franchise. But now that we've actually seen more gameplay and we've seen what the game's going to be like, I feel justified and I feel very confident in making a video showing my hype for this game and showing how optimistic I am for it because it looks really great. It looks amazing. You're seeing the trailer footage in the background right now and you're telling me it doesn't look absolutely amazing? I mean, maybe if you're not an Evil Dead fan, maybe, but oh my god, like, look at this. Playing as the demons, playing as the characters. Gee, oh my god, man. Okay. Before I get too lost in my own hype, I just want to preface and say that I am a super Evil Dead fan because I actually grew up on the movies. My father was an Evil Dead fan. I mean, I'm a relatively young man, so I didn't grow up when these movies came out because they're kind of old, to me at least, and I'm sorry to anybody that I accidentally just called old. But my father was a huge fan of these movies, and he is what introduced me to them. And they were some of my first horror movies ever, being the first Evil Dead movie, which I probably watched at way too young of an age, but it is what it is. Being such a young age, the movie absolutely captured my imagination. It scared me a little bit, don't get me wrong, but I really like this stuff. I like the spooky stuff, so I was more enraptured than anything. I didn't feel scared per se, but like, just wow, this movie still holds up. It's just such a phenomenal movie. If you haven't seen it, you need to see it. It just wow. And of course, I would go on to watch the second film and be even more blown away as Sam Raimi, the director of the film, took it in a different direction, in a more, not comedy, but a more slapstick approach as we dive into Ash Williams, who is the main character, into his psyche and how all of these events have been shaping him. It's such a good movie, too. It's a really great movie. And don't even get me started on Evil Dead 3 Army of Darkness, because that movie is easily 10 out of 10. It is just amazing. I actually watched it the other day in hype for this game coming out. I rewatched all the films, and I'm in the process of watching the TV show on Starz. It's on Netflix now, actually, Ash vs. Evil Dead. And oh my god, I can't express to you how much I love this franchise and how long I've loved this franchise. So for them to finally be making what looks to me like a very high quality game on it is absolutely mind blowing. And I am so excited, and you should be too. Now, even though we're 10 days away, we still haven't been able to get our hands on it. There's been a few closed betas for, I believe, Xbox Insider or something. I'm not a part of that. I would have loved to be because I'd love to play this game. So we really have gameplay footage that they've released and from the trailers and stuff. And there was, I believe, like an early preview. IGN got their hands on the game and stuff. I believe Game Informer as well. So that's the only thing we have to go off of right now. And it's more than enough because it's more than enough to build a hype, especially with fans like me. Okay, enough rambling. I'm sorry about that. Let's actually get into what the game is about. As you can see from the gameplay and the trailer in the back, it's actually an asymmetrical horror game in the likes of Dead by Daylight. I'm sure if you're watching this video, you're familiar with Dead by Daylight because that's the most popular asymmetrical horror game, multiplayer asymmetrical horror game, I'm sorry. So as you see, one of the players plays as the Kandarian Demon, which is the main force of evil in the Evil Dead franchise. And the other 4 players play as the survivors or the heroes. I'm not too sure exactly what to call them yet. And it is in the likes of Dead by Daylight, where it's that 1v4 kind of thing, except this time it's Evil Dead, baby, so you're able to fight back. You're able to fight the demons and actually banish them back to the realm in which they came, which is the objective of the game. So it has a bit more of a battle royale kind of aspect to it when it comes to the players, the 4 survivors. You start in with the loot that your character starts with, and you're able to search the map. It's a very big map from everything I've seen from the gameplay as well. And you search cabins, and you search places to find better weapons and stuff. And you also need to find different objective pieces in order to put together a ritual in order to send back the Kandarian demon, which is the enemy player, back to hell, I guess. And once you do that, you win. And on the Kandarian demon side, if the Kandarian demon kills your entire team, then he wins. So it's that competitive back and forth, but, you know, asymmetrical horror, which is pretty cool. The gameplay sounds incredibly simple on paper, but so does another game like Dead by Daylight, which is just simply one killer, 4 survivors run away from said killer and try not to get killed. So seeing the asymmetrical horror game formula switched up is really, really welcome, because I have to keep going back to Dead by Daylight because it is the prime example of asymmetrical horror, and the only successful one, really, because we had back in the day Friday the 13th, the game, which was another game that was amazing and I was incredibly excited for because I'm a huge fan of Friday the 13th as well. But, you know, legal issues is what ended up taking that game out. It was still a great game and a lot of people enjoyed it. It's still playable now, but community's not how it was. So Dead by Daylight, because of that, is now, you know, the top asymmetrical horror game. And it's fun, don't get me wrong, but I feel like it's not exactly my cup of tea because, I mean, the only fun I get in the game is playing as killer, you know, because that's where the main action is. And I don't like the ability to helplessly, like, run away from, like, the killer and stuff. It's just not my thing. You know, my thing is more like this, Evil Dead, fight back. You know, this is very, very cool, very up my alley. So part of that gameplay of Evil Dead the game is going to be choosing different characters. There are multiple different characters for both the demon and the survivor side. On the survivor side, we have every iteration of Ash, which is the coolest thing. We got Ash Williams from part 1, Ash Williams part 2, which is where, you know, he cuts off his hand and now he's becoming Ash Williams. Army of Darkness Ash Williams, which has the most outfits in the game so far, which is super cool. And Ash versus Evil Dead Ash Williams, which is old man, you know, S-Smart Ash Williams, which is also a fun character, but it's, you know, he's probably the weakest out of all of them. He's not my favorite, but, you know, it's okay. That's fine. What is great about having all of these Ashes in the game is that nobody's ever going to be left out. You can play as Ash Williams every single game, every single time. And the reason the characters are split up like this, not only Ash's characters, but all the characters, is because they're split up like classes. You have leader, warrior, support, and I feel like I'm forgetting one, but each role is necessary to have a successful game. If you'd like to win, if you'd like to banish the Kandarian demon back to hell. So you need to strategize with your team and smartly choose which character you're going to pick, because it's going to make a huge difference on if you win or lose. On the other side of things, where you're playing as the demon, you have 3 classes to choose from, and each one of these classes has an iconic Evil Dead demon, starting with Henrietta from Evil Dead 2. And then you have, I believe it's pronounced Eroze from Ash vs. Evil Dead, which is that teleporting psychic demon, which is a super cool character, actually. I'm glad they included him. And, of course, you have Evil Ash, which is the best demon in the entire franchise, because he's our hero just turned evil and with his face blown off. So he's a great character, and he was first introduced in Army of Darkness, and he's just, I love him. I'm so glad he's in this game. He's definitely who I'm going to be maining. So just like the survivors, each class has its own powers and abilities. Warlord is your pretty straightforward, hard-hitting kind of class, which is the one with Henrietta. And the Necromancer class, which is the one with Evil Ash, is all about raising the dead, which really suits the character and suits the film he's from, because he does raise an Army of Darkness, and you'll be able to do that in this game as well, which should be super fun. Playing as the demon, you'll start off by using that point of view shot that Evil Dead has become very iconic for, and it is as the Kandarian demon. And you'll be able to also possess deadites and play as the deadites in order to attack the survivors. You can possess trees, possess cars, pretty much everything you see within the franchise that the demon does, you're able to do in order to really rain down on the enemy team, which looks like so much fun, and you can just cause so much mischievousness like the entire time. Or you can be direct, and you can scare a survivor enough to actually be able to possess them. And from there, you're able to play that character where the original player loses control of their character, and you're able to use them to attack the team or do whatever it is, you know, waste resources, which is adding a bit of a strategy element to the demon side that I didn't know I wanted, but that should be really fun. Of course, you can't have an Evil Dead game without a lot of blood and violence and combat. And as you can see from the gameplay trailers in the back, combat looks visceral, combat looks incredibly brutal, and it looks like it's going to be using a more cinematic aspect. I could be totally wrong, but it kind of reminds me of like an Assassin's Creed level of like when you get that final attack in, it goes into that cinematic kind of execution move. And that would be really exciting to see all the animations they've created for all the characters. We see a few of them in the gameplay trailers. When Ash versus Evil Dead, Ash puts his chainsaw through one of the chests of the Deadites. Looks super cool. And we also have a few of the characters like Pablo in that one shot where he gets the shovel and he decapitates one of the Deadites. It's some crazy looking stuff, but the combat looks really good. I haven't got my hands on it yet, but the combat does look reminiscent of a regular like action game, a regular third-person action game. So this should be pretty fun and useful. I want to get my hands on it big time. We've never really seen this kind of action put in an asymmetrical multiplayer horror game before. So I am curious as to how it's going to come out, but so far so good. It looks good. To me, it looks like it has a lot more staying power than something not as accessible as Dead by Daylight, you know? More, even Friday the 13th per se. Friday the 13th wasn't exactly the most popular game. It was much more of a niche kind of thing, but this seems like it can go down more of people's alleys this way, which is good because it should keep the player base alive. Speaking of player base, it is important to point out the fact that this game is going to have single player content. The regular mode, that regular Survivors versus Kandarian Demon gameplay, is completely doable in single player with bots, which who knows how that's going to go. The bots might be kind of dumb, or they might be more intelligent than we've ever seen. We'll really just have to wait to get our hands on it to see what that's like. But there's also a standalone single player mode, which we haven't seen much footage from. They haven't released a single player trailer yet, but if the rest of the game is anything to go off of, it looks pretty good. And hopefully it'll be more than the Friday the 13th single player stuff, which were just little challenges. Hopefully it's a full-blown story and campaign, because that would be pretty good. Now, originally there were 4 editions of the game that you could get. There was like this super ultra version, which came with a life-size Necronomicon and t-shirts and other goodies like that. Then you had your regular super deluxe edition, which came with everything except for the Necronomicon. And you have your deluxe edition, which is just the base game and the season pass. And then, of course, you have the regular edition of the game. Each one were priced very, very differently. The super deluxe one was like over $200, I believe. It's a ridiculous amount of money for a game that we haven't really gotten our hands on yet. We don't know how good it's going to be. But the deluxe edition does come with the season pass. So that's kind of showing us that they have a lot of confidence in their product. They believe that they're going to be able to, you know, put out a lot of DLCs and put out maybe different maps, different characters, or different demons and stuff. Who knows what they're going to be able to put out, but they are looking towards the future, so that gives me confidence as well that this game is going to last much longer than something like Friday the 13th. Sadly, as of the time of making this video, both collector editions, which are the super editions of the games, are completely sold out, but you can still get the regular edition and the deluxe edition, which comes with the season pass, $40 and $60 respectively, which isn't too much. It's about regular price for a video game nowadays. But yeah, guys, this is a game that I am incredibly excited about. I've been keeping up with everything that's been coming out for it. If there's a new trailer that drops, I'm absolutely going to put it in a future video because I'm so incredibly excited. Absolutely expect videos on this game once it finally comes out because I have already pre-ordered it, which includes this bundle. With a pre-order bundle, you get 2 skins for Ash Williams from Army of Darkness. And I saw these, the S-Mart and the Knight outfit, and I absolutely needed them because they're some of my favorite looks on Ash Williams, and I'm glad that they're in the game. So, yeah, guys, that's pretty much everything you need to know about the Evil Dead game, and see my sheer excitement towards this game. I cannot wait for it to release on May 13th, which is a Friday the 13th, which is quite suiting for this kind of game. And once it does release, I'll be back at you guys with everything, probably a review on it as well, see how good it is. It'll be my first review video that I do, but this game looks like it deserves it. It looks really great. So, yeah, guys, thank you for tuning in, and I'll catch you in the next one.